The rain fell hard that night. Cold drops slid down the shining glass walls of the city's tallest hotel, where lights sparkled like diamonds in the dark sky. Inside the ballroom, laughter and music filled the air. Wealthy guests in suits and glittering dresses raised their glasses, celebrating the birthday of one of the richest women in the city, Amelia King, the young billionaire single mom. But while the world saw her as powerful and untouchable, Amelia's smile was only a mask. Behind her perfect makeup, her eyes carried a heavy sadness. She had everything money could buy: mansions, cars, even her own private jet. But what no one knew was that she was also drowning. Her business empire was crumbling. A secret scandal was threatening to destroy her name. And worst of all, her little daughter, Lily, was growing up without a father's love. That night, Amelia stepped away from the party. She walked out of the hotel, into the cold rain, her golden heels splashing in puddles. She just needed air, space to think. The storm seemed to whisper to her heart, reminding her how lonely she truly was. Across the street, sitting on the wet pavement, was a man the world didn't notice. His clothes were torn, his beard unshaven, and his eyes hidden beneath messy hair. He was a homeless man, someone people usually passed by without care. But Amelia stopped. For some reason, she couldn't walk away. His presence pulled at something inside her. Their eyes met. For the first time in years, she felt truly seen. "Why are you looking at me like that?" The man's voice was rough, broken by the cold. Amelia's heart pounded. She didn't even know his name. But in that moment, words escaped her lips before she could stop them. "Please, marry me." The man froze. He thought he had misheard. A billionaire woman, standing in the rain, asking him, a man with nothing, to marry her. It felt like a cruel joke. Amelia's voice trembled, but her eyes stayed firm. "I'm not playing. I need you. I need someone real, someone who doesn't want me for my money. Someone who can help me protect my daughter." The man laughed bitterly, shaking his head. "Lady, you don't even know me. I sleep on sidewalks. I beg for food. I'm not the man you're looking for." But Amelia stepped closer. The rain soaked her expensive gown, yet she didn't care. "That's exactly why. You're the only person who has nothing to gain by being with me. Everyone else around me, they're liars. They use me, betray me, smile at me while sharpening knives behind my back. But you could be different." For a moment, silence rolled. The sound of thunder rolled above them. The man narrowed his eyes. "And what makes you think I want to save you? What makes you believe I care about your problems? Do you think because you're rich, you can just buy my yes?" Amelia's lips quivered. No one had ever spoken to her that way before. The pain in his voice was raw, unpolished, and real. It cut deeper than the fake compliments of her so-called friends. "I'm not offering money," she whispered. "I'm offering trust. I don't even know why I'm saying this, but something in me tells me you're the one who can help me." The man studied her face carefully. For years, people looked at him with disgust, pity, or fear. But Amelia looked at him with desperation, maybe even hope. It was unsettling. Then he spoke the words that froze Amelia's blood. "I say yes, but only if you give me what I ask in return." Her chest tightened. "What do you want?" A strange look flickered in his eyes, something between pain and mystery. "Not money. Not your cars, not your house, not even your empire. What I want is something you've been hiding from the world." Amelia's breath caught. He couldn't know, could he? There was indeed a secret she had buried so deep that even her closest friends didn't know. A secret that, if revealed, could destroy everything she had worked for. She forced a weak smile, trying to stay calm. "You don't even know me. What could I possibly be hiding?" The man leaned forward, his voice low, almost like a whisper that sliced through the rain. "The truth, Amelia. That's what I want. And until you're ready to give it to me, I won't say yes." Her heart thundered in her chest. This stranger, this homeless man, had just become more dangerous than all the enemies waiting to ruin her. Still, she couldn't walk away. Something about him tied her fate to his. And that night, under the storm, a billionaire single mom and a homeless stranger began a story that would change both of their lives forever. The night after Amelia begged the homeless man to marry her, she couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned in her sick bed, her mind replaying his words again and again. I say yes, but only if you give me what I ask in return. Those words haunted her. What did he mean by the truth? How could a man who lived on the streets know she was hiding anything at all? It made no sense. Yet, deep inside, Amelia feared he somehow knew too much. The next morning, the city was awake with noise, cars honking, people rushing, newspapers buzzing with headlines about Amelia King's empire. But Amelia's thoughts were not on her company. They were on him. She ordered her driver to take her back to the same street corner where she had found the stranger the night before. The rain had stopped, and the sun burned against the cracked sidewalks. People hurried past, not even glancing at the man sitting alone with his head bowed. When Amelia stepped out of the car, all eyes turned. Her designer suit and expensive heels didn't belong in a place like this. Still, she walked straight to him. "You," she said softly, her voice trembling. The man lifted his head. His eyes, dark and sharp, looked at her like she was no different from anyone else. He didn't bow, didn't smile, didn't act impressed. That alone made Amelia feel exposed. "I came back," she whispered. "I knew you would," he said flatly. "People like you never hear the word no." Amelia's chest tightened. "I'm not here to buy your yes. I need to understand what you meant last night. What truth are you talking about?" The man stood slowly, his shadow taller than she expected. He stepped closer until she could see the scars along his hands, the pain buried in his face. "The truth about you," he said. "The part of your life you hide from the cameras. The reason you look so sad, even when the whole world calls you the luckiest woman alive." Amelia's throat went dry. Nobody ever asked her questions like this. Nobody dared. She felt her walls breaking. But she couldn't let him see her weakness. "Not yet. You're wasting my time," she said sharply, trying to walk away. But his next word stopped her cold. "Does your daughter know who her real father is?" Amelia froze. Her heart dropped into her stomach. Only a handful of people in the world knew that secret. How could this stranger, this homeless man, possibly know? She spun around, her eyes wide. "What did you say?" He stepped closer, lowering his voice. "I told you. I don't want your money. I want the truth. If you want me to marry you, to stand by you, then you have to face the past you've been running from." Tears stung Amelia's eyes, but she blinked them away. "Who are you?" she demanded. "How do you know about my daughter?" The man gave a bitter smile. "Let's just say I've seen the kind of world you live in, Amelia. Money can hide many things, but pain always leaves a mark." Her knees weakened. For years, Amelia had built walls of steel around her heart, hiding her daughter's true story, hiding the scandal that could ruin everything. And now, a man with nothing, not even a roof over his head, was threatening to tear it all down. She wanted to scream at him, to call her guards, to run back to her safe, glittering world. But something stronger held her in place. Something about him felt like destiny, like fate was forcing her into this impossible deal. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "If I tell you the truth, will you say yes?" The man looked at her for a long time, as if searching her soul. Finally, he said, "Yes. But know this, once you speak the truth, there's no turning back. Secrets destroy. Lies poison. If you let me in, I won't let you hide anymore." Amelia's chest rose and fell. Every instinct told her to walk away. But her heart, broken, tired, desperate, wanted to believe him. Maybe he wasn't just a stranger. Maybe he was the only person who could stand beside her when the world turned against her. She took a shaky breath. "Fine. I'll tell you. But not here. Not in the open." The man's expression softened just a little. Then take me to where it all began. Take me to the place where your secret was born. Amelia's hands trembled. She hadn't been to that place in years. Just the thought of it made her knees weak. But if this was the price of his yes, she had no choice. She nodded slowly, her voice almost breaking. All right. But when you hear the truth, don't hate me. The man didn't answer. His silence was heavier than words. And as Amelia led him toward the dark chapter of her past, she knew that this was only the beginning. The price of a yes was far greater than she ever imagined. Amelia's hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles turned white. The city lights faded behind her car as she drove toward the one place she swore never to return. Every mile brought back memories she had buried, memories too painful to face. Beside her sat the homeless man. Silent. Watching. His calmness made her more nervous than shouting ever could. Finally, he spoke, his voice low and steady. You're scared. Amelia's throat tightened. Of course I'm scared. I'm about to open doors I've kept locked for years. Good, he said. Fear means the truth still matters. His words cut deep. She pressed harder on the gas, her heart pounding. After an hour, the car stopped in front of a crumbling house on the edge of the city. The paint had peeled away, the windows broken, the yard filled with weeds. Amelia's chest tightened at the sight. This is where it began, she whispered. The man's eyes narrowed. Your secret lives here. Amelia nodded. Yes. This is where I last saw him. The man didn't move. He just stared at her, his eyes dark, unreadable. Him. You mean your daughter's real father? Amelia gasped, covering her mouth. How could he know? The words she had never spoken aloud burned on her tongue. Yes, she finally admitted, her voice shaking. Lily's father. The man I loved, and the man who betrayed me. Her mind spun back in time, late nights in this very house, whispered promises, stolen kisses. He had told her he loved her, that he would never leave. But when Amelia found out she was pregnant, everything changed. Instead of standing by her, he vanished, leaving her alone with a broken heart and a baby on the way. I built my empire to protect Lily, Amelia said, her voice trembling. I wanted to prove I didn't need him. I wanted to be strong. But the truth is, I've been living a lie. Everyone thinks Lily's father died, but he didn't. He just disappeared. Her words hung heavy in the night air. The homeless man turned slowly toward her. And in his eyes, Amelia saw something that made her blood run cold. Recognition. She stumbled back a step. Why are you looking at me like that? He didn't answer at first. His jaw tightened, his fist clenched. Finally, he whispered, because I know him. Amelia's heart skipped. What do you mean you know him? How? The man's voice was thick with pain. Because he was my brother. The words seemed to tilt beneath Amelia's feet. She shook her head violently. No. No, that can't be true. But the man's eyes burned with raw truth. His name was Daniel. He told me about you once. Said he had found a woman who made him feel alive. But he also told me he wasn't ready for the life you wanted. When he left you, I lost him too. He never came back to our family. Tears spilled down Amelia's cheeks. Daniel. Daniel was Lily's father. The man's eyes softened with grief. That means Lily is my niece. Silence wrapped around them, heavy and unbreakable. Amelia's chest heaved as the truth settled in. The homeless man she had begged to marry her was the uncle of her daughter. She stepped back, shaking her head. This is madness. Fate can't be this cruel. But the man's voice was firm. It's not madness. It's destiny. That's why you felt drawn to me. That's why I couldn't just walk away when you begged me to marry you. Blood ties us together, even if we didn't know it. Confusion and fear battled in Amelia's heart. She had wanted a stranger, someone untouched by her past. Instead, She had found the very person who carried her past inside his veins. Her voice cracked. So what now? Will you expose me? Tell the world that Lily's father abandoned us. The man's eyes darkened. No. I won't expose you. But you must face the truth with Lily. She deserves to know where she comes from. And if I'm to stand by you, then you must accept me not just as a man, but as her family. Amelia trembled. Could she do it? Could she let her daughter know the truth she had hidden so long? Would Lily hate her for the lies? The homeless man stepped closer, his gaze piercing. The choice is yours, Amelia. But remember this, lies only grow heavier. And one day, they crush the ones we love most. Amelia's tears fell freely now. She had never felt so vulnerable, so exposed. Yet, deep in his eyes, she also saw something else. Not judgment. Not hatred. But pain, and maybe even a chance for healing. For the first time, Amelia realized the truth behind his eyes wasn't just about her secret. It was about his own scars, his own losses, his own battle with a world that had chewed him up and thrown him away. And in that moment, she understood, their fates were bound, not by accident, but by a truth bigger than both of them. The night was quiet, but Amelia's world would never be the same again.